Now, they say styles make fights, and if last week Amorim versus Deitch was all about chaos versus control, this week Amorim versus Frank is about as modern tactical chess match as we're likely to see. Ruben Amorim, fixed system, meets Thomas Frank's football fluidity. It's the immovable object against the ever-shifting force. Amorim, the perfectionist loyal to 3-4-3, his structure, his plan, although it is showing signs of flexibility in the last few games. Thomas Frank, the Premier League chameleon, the one who changes shape like he changes his socks. Both believe they are the smartest man in the room, but in football, ideology has to meet harsh reality. And this weekend, we will find out which is going to bend first. United under Amorim are finally starting to look like we understand the system. We had 3 wins on the bounce. We then had that draw against Nottingham Forest. Possession appears to be climbing. Understanding appears to be climbing. Performances appear to be improving. I think even taking into account what happened at the weekend, I thought there was some real good bits in that performance, even though we didn't manage to get a win. It's not a well-oiled machine yet, the 3-4-3. But it's starting to round into some sort of confidence, and that might lead to some level of control. Spurs, meanwhile, they're thriving under Thomas Frank. Last night we saw them put up a real good win, albeit with 10 men, in the Champions League. And they've got a coach that's taken the high-risk chaos that they saw under Ange and turned it into measured aggression. They've halved their expected goals against. They have tightened their defence and how they are without the ball. They've added a little bit of a set-play punch. That's pure Thomas Frank DNA. And it's not just United versus Spurs. It's philosophy versus pragmatism. It's Amorim's purity versus Frank's adaptability. This isn't just another pretty face. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is built to handle your most sensitive areas with care, helping reduce the risk of nicks, cuts, and irritation where it matters the most. Whether you're cleaning things up for a date, a trip, or just to feel a little bit more put together, the White Hot Trimmer makes below-the-waist grooming a whole lot smoother. With a clean white and gold finish that looks just as good as it shaves. Join over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and use the code Howson, that's HOWSON, for 15% off your entire order at manscaped.com. Nobody enjoys the sting of a slip-up mid-trim, and that is why Manscaped's skin-safe technology was developed to help you groom with more confidence and fewer mishaps. The blades are designed to glide over the skin with less tug and pull, helping you avoid the usual redness or irritation that comes with lower quality trimmers. It is simple, it is effective, and it doesn't require a whole routine. Just pick it up, clean what you need, and move on with your life. Whether you're using it in the shower, on the go, or standing over the sink just before a night out, the White Hot 5.0 Ultra fits in your day without getting in the way. Plus, the white and gold design actually looks good, so you won't be hiding it in the bottom drawer anymore. White Hot looks, smooth results. The White Hot 5.0 Ultra brings the heat without cooking your skin. It is sleek, it is easy to use, and it's way less terrifying than whatever it was you was doing before. Use the code Howson, that is HOWSON, for 15% off your entire order at manscaped.com. That's 15% off with the code Howson at manscaped.com. Stay cool, stay smooth, and leave the burns to the sun. Now let's start with the men in the dugout. In Ruben Amorim, you have an architect. Football defined by repetition and structure. 3-4-3 isn't a shape, it is a belief system for him. The 3 centre-halves are there for balance. The 2 wing-backs are there to stretch the pitch. Inside forwards connect the line. It's all about control via geometry. Triangles, rotations, vertical half-space passing. He doesn't want chaos, even though there's been a lot of that lately. He wants command. And at its best, Ruben Amorim's football can feel like inevitable. It's methodical squeezing and pressure until you break. Thomas Frank, on the other hand, is pure adaptability, almost like the modern iteration of a Jose Mourinho in that sense. Built Brentford into an analytical machine, data-driven, aggressive, and brutally efficient. At Spurs, he's doing the same, but with better tools. He can go long, he can go short, he can go compact, or he can press you to death. He reads the game like a problem solver, not a preacher. and he will do whatever it is to get the result. Now, the perfect stat, I think, that sums up what Thomas Frank is all about, is that at Brentford, he used a back 5 53 times and a back 4 51 times. You've almost got a near perfect 50-50 split. Basically played a 3-5-2 or a 4-3-3. And then there was 4 games where he played either a 4-4-2 diamond or actually a 3-4-3. So this isn't someone that is a system coach. This is a solutions coach. This is a guy that shape bends to the opponent, not the other way around. And as Frank said himself, formations are for whiteboards. What matters is how quickly you can change the picture on the pitch. Amorim paints a masterpiece until it's flawless. Frank does a new sketch every single week. I think that's the easiest way to sort of roll this one out. Now, the numbers. Amorim's United are averaging 56% possession, almost 500 passes per game. We are starting to dominate territory with press, with structure, and with the ball. Our PPDA, passes per defensive action, is around about 9. That's quite aggressive, yeah, but it's also a little bit controlled of it as well now. Frank's Spurs are closer to 46% possession, but their XG per shot is far higher. They create fewer chances, but they are creating better chances than us as well. And their average direct speed is 1.9 metres per second. That means that's how fast they are moving the ball. They're quick, they are purposeful, and they are forward. They're direct, right? Then they've got a set play game. It's a science under Thomas Frank. Across Brentford and now at Spurs, his sides have consistently ranked in the top 3 in the league for goals from dead balls. 41% of Spurs goals this season have come from corners, free kicks, or from long throws. At United, it's closer to 15%. Same roots, same ambitions, completely different outcome, I think. Amorim believes in mastery through repetition. His idea, once perfected, is going to be what allows us to dominate the game. He builds identity before going adaptable. It's very much a my way or there is no way, because in his eyes, the clarity beats the chaos. Frank is basically the polar opposite to that. He believes that football is chaos and it's fluid chaos, and the manager's job is to adapt faster than the opponent does. If 4-4-2 works, that's what we're playing. If his back 3 is what we need this week, he will switch up after 15 minutes. He builds teams that can morph in real time. That requires intelligent players that are able to carry out those instructions, and not every team has those players. And Spurs might not have those players, which is why in some games, when it's gone wrong for them, it's gone really, really wrong for them this season. Now, Amorim's structure versus Frank's elasticity. It's positional play against probability. That's how this boils down. Now, Amorim's 3-4-3 tries to create diamonds all over the pitch. Every player has an angle, every press has a trigger. The wing-backs are there to provide the width, and the midfield is there for balance control, while the front 3 rotate in the half spaces trying to create your goals. Against Tottenham, that shape will get tested because Frank's teams will attack the channels, especially the gaps between the fullback and the centre-half, which in most teams is the traditional weakness, and it's also my belief as why he uses a back 3. So he's always got numbers in that area. I would expect early diagonals into runners that are going to flood the space vacated by the wing-backs. I would think that they go cross-pitch to do that. They might even go direct into that channel from the centre-half. In possession, they're going to rotate constantly. And I mean constantly. The fullbacks will invert, the 8s will overlap, forwards will drop in and spin, someone will go and occupy the number 9 spot. It is like watching a Rubik's Cube on the football pitch. You think you've solved one side of it, he's already moved on to the next. Brighton game could give us a blueprint of how we should play in this, because I think the things that worked against Brighton theoretically should be the sort of things that work against Tottenham. This is going to hinge on how well we can bypass that press. If we bypass that press, and how well we deal with them trying to play out, or if they try and bypass our press. If they can find players in between the lines, our own press completely collapses, and the same for them. If you can start getting players on the ball in between the lines, the mid-block that they're probably going to try and employ absolutely collapses. But Tottenham are ruthless in transition, and this is where the big test of this sort of newfound United comes from. Because since that Sunderland game, United have been way more pragmatic. Casemiro and Bruno, instead of hunting the ball when United lose possession, have sort of held. And for me, that's the number one most obvious reason as to why we look a lot more resolute. The best team that we're going to come up against with this is Tottenham, because they will sit deeper than Liverpool did and they will break out harder than Liverpool did. This is where we'll find out whether or not we've actually got better on that defensive transition. Tottenham don't waste counters. They average one big chance every 12 possession, which is absolutely elite numbers for a team that is not built on the ball. For a team that has less than 50% possession, that is rare. So that tells you what they're all about. So how do you beat him? Well, you need to take away the variables. You need to force the game into a shape that he can't manipulate into what he wants. That means you've got to control the tempo and win the second balls. Frank's teams are going to thrive in the chaos, so starve them of it. Be better at them in that chaos. Now, Casemiro has been fantastic at this in recent weeks. I think Cunha and Mbuemo really added something to United by being so good in that kind of chaos as well. But United have to protect those transitions. If Bruno and Casemiro are going to be the midfield too, and I could even see a case for somebody else coming in this game just to freshen it up a little bit. But if it is Bruno and Casemiro, then you have to deny freedom for their players to spin in behind and for United to get overloaded. We need to keep 5 back there just in case they leave 4 forward. You've got to make sure you've got that +1. Now, they will also turn every single dead ball into a weapon. The likes of Van de Ven is going to be an absolute nightmare in that sort of situation. They'll have people attacking near post zones, back post zones, and it won't be luck. It will be completely rehearsed set plays. So no cheap corners, no silly fouls, and don't let the sort of things that we saw at Forest happen again. Don't let this become a restart game. Keep the ball in play, keep it moving, keep passing them to death, and if we do lose possession, react quickly. And you've got half a chance in this, because we've got match winners at the other end of the pitch, and that's where we could do it. This isn't just a tactical battle. At its core, it's a complete philosophical duel about what modern football is. Is it going down the system, or is it going down adaptability? And like Frank says, you have to adapt faster than everybody else. If Amorim wins, it's a massive validation for the corner that we thought United turned a few weeks ago. It's showing belief and clarity that we can control and overcome even some of the most adaptive managers in the Premier League. If Frank wins, it's proof of just how good of a manager he is and how good those marginal gains can be in a league that gets defined by chaos a little bit. Either way, this is a big game for both teams, and it's a big game for both managers. Let me know if you're confident going into this one, and let me know what score you think it's going to be. We will still be doing the usual preview. That's going to be coming out on Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to do a scout report where we just look specifically at Tottenham, how they play, the key players to watch out for, the sort of things that they do, and maybe some of the weaknesses that are in that squad as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're liking this sort of new 3 separate video preview that we are doing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.